Mainman Mademan here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. It's going down, you know. Sitting here taking this article in with some quotes read by Floyd Money Mayweather, in which he is saying that Vasyl Lomachenko is not better than Terence Crawford. Now, we all know that Floyd Mayweather in the past has always stated that he believes that Terence Crawford should be #1 pound for pound. And it's funny because Andre Ward also believes that Terence Crawford should be #1 pound for pound, which means that the last two men that were considered the #1 pound for pound champions, they consider Terence Crawford #1. That is a huge, huge statement right there. You know, I'm sure Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather don't agree on much, but the one thing that they both agree on is that Terence Crawford should be #1, and he is not better. And Vasyl Lomachenko is not better than him. According to Floyd Mayweather, and I quote, "I look at guys like Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford can be a lot bigger than he is. This shows that racism still exists. How can you say that Lomachenko is better than Terence Crawford? Not at all, and not in a million years," end quote. Now, for those who don't know, I consider Vasyl Lomachenko to be #2, right on Terence Crawford's heels. But by most people's pound-for-pound rankings, especially when you look at these big publications, well, a lot of them have removed Terence Crawford from being #1. And if you listen to a lot of boxing fans today, especially the Terence Crawford haters, you know what I mean? Of course, they've removed Terence Crawford out of the top 5. But I find that a major far cry from the last two men who was considered #1 pound for pound, consider Crawford's #1 pound for pound status. Now, I already told y'all, Crawford still has the #1, and on my list, Crawford is still #1 without a doubt. Vasyl Lomachenko, he's closing in, but he ain't quite there yet. To me, Terence Crawford has dominated more world champions. Terence Crawford assumed the accomplishments that Vasyl Lomachenko was attempting to get today. Terence Crawford's already been there and done that. He is a more dominating fighter. That's something that you just got to throw in there. I mean, the man has barely even been knocked down, as Vasyl Lomachenko has. And on top of that, he's lost. But once again, for those who say, well, pound for pound is for what have you done for me lately? Well, he still has not dominated a weight class as much as Terence Crawford has. What Terence Crawford did at 140, which was his second weight class, he completely dominated that weight class. As for Vasyl Lomachenko, at 135, he has not completely dominated, which it can be said that Terence Crawford on his third weight class has yet to totally dominate neither. But even at Vasyl Lomachenko's second weight class, I still didn't think he dominated those fighters like Terence Crawford did. And that's just my opinion. And I think that Terence Crawford, he's the #1 guy. He's still looking good. His style, I believe, translated to higher weight classes. If he was a heavyweight fighter, I believe that Terence Crawford today would be the better fighter. Now, like I said before, I mean, you can have your opinion. I can have my opinion. Everyone can have an opinion and say, well, no, man, I don't think so. He ain't been fighting nobody, or blah, blah, blah. You know, the typical arguments. But you cannot refute the fact that the last two #1 pound for pound fighters can still consider Terence Crawford to be #1 because he has not been surpassed. So salute to Floyd Mayweather, man. Like I said, he's always been here. I don't know if this could be a promoting ploy where Floyd just looking to sign Crawford and maybe bring Crawford over or lure Crawford over somehow, some way. So he's saying all this good stuff and putting all this stuff out there in the public about him. But this has been going on for the last few years. Floyd Mayweather has never really said anything bad about Terence Crawford, aside from the fact that he needs to be bigger, which we all agree. He should be bigger. But Terence Crawford, being the fighter that he is, who doesn't talk much, not a big showman like that, well, you know, he's happy with who he is. It is what it is. But it's just, to me, real revealing to see the last two dudes are all in unison. They ain't in unison about much, but they agree that Terence Crawford is still #1, and they agree. And Floyd Mayweather says that Terence Crawford is still better than Vasyl Lomachenko. Unbelievable. We will revisit this after Teofimo Lopez and Vasyl Lomachenko all day. Thumbs up for the homie, man. Much love to the fan, man. All y'all haters out there, man. Hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. You can say whatever you want, but the two men that got in that ring and dominated and became #1 pound for pound, if anyone's word is valid, forget these publications, forget the haters, forget even the fans of Crawford. Listen to what these two men are telling you, because if you can't believe no one, you can believe Andre Ward, and you can definitely believe Floyd Money Mayweather. You know what I'm talking about? To the next video. Much love to the fam, man. I catch up with y'all real soon. Salute. to everybody in Mainman Mademan's boxing forum, man, on Facebook. And I see y'all real soon. Yeah, man. But to the next video, man. Peace out.